Hey guys, how you doing? It's Daryl back again with not another SEO guru. Today I want to address something that we see quite often online, and certainly over the last couple of years we've seen more of this where is it possible to rank with just schema? So no other content on the page, just schema, nothing else. Let's dive into that question today, shall we? So is it possible for you to rank on search engines with schema only? Well, the answer is yes. However, there's a big lack of follow-up with case after case being extolled from the rooftops with trumpets and fanfare as to why. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this can work and how to do it yourself. So let's cut to it and get on with it. So why schema markup matters in modern SEO? Well, schema markup, or JSON-LD, is a structured way of defining your site's context and content for search engines. It's not just extra code, it's meaningful content that machines can read and understand. We know this already. Actionable tip, I'm going to provide as many of these as I can during this current video. So, as I've said before implementing schema, ensure foundational SEO is solid. So quality content, haha, right? Site speed, mobile friendliness, proper internal linking. Schema amplifies what already exists. It doesn't fix a broken base. Now, we're talking in terms of applying schema to an existing site. We're going to talk specifically about using schema when there's no other content to actually rank. Okay, so let's start with dispelling the myth, ranking with schema alone. Well, not quite. While some claim rankings can improve by schema alone, and we have seen examples of this, understand that schema is essentially a signal enhancer or dataset focal tool, not a standalone ranking factor. Now, there is an asterisk to this, which I'll explain in the next slide. Schema contextualizes and highlights your content, helping search engines interpret it more accurately. Actionable tip, integrate schema only after you've got strong indexable content. Use schema as a strategic overlay to reinforce relevance and authority. Now, when can schema be a standalone ranking factor? Well, let's think about what it's actually doing. You are bringing to Google's attention the data points that you wish to present as relevant to your brand and entity. When you make key associations in the right way, and those data points align with factors that imply trust, authority, and validation, this is where you can see a rapid change in rankings. The opposite can be true when you introduce elements that are detrimental to your entity via schema. However, one of the big reasons pages can rank with no visible content and with schema alone is how schema as content brings together the data points that trigger rankings, coupled with the fact that the data points collated within the dataset relate to both the entity and the query. Generally, this is the short-term win, but not always. And it's also something we've demonstrated in our various masterminds since as far back as 2018. It's not anything new. Now remember, schema is content, not just code. The structured data you provide is essentially a curated summary or guide to your web page's content. Google and Bing trust this data because it's explicit, consistent, and meaningful. So another actionable tip, when writing or updating your copy, think about what structured data types can best represent it. If your page is about a product, use product schema to reflect every detail. Brand, SKU, price, ratings, so that this structured info becomes a trusted content layer. And choosing the right schema type. So thousands of schema types exist: articles, recipes, products, FAQs, events, how-tos, local business, and more. Using the right type aligns with your content's purpose with search engines' expectations. So another actionable tip, we've got lots of them today. Start by mapping each section of your website to a schema type. For instance, blogs equals article, store items equals product, location pages equals local business. Reference schema.org for a full catalog and choose the best fit. I have previous videos on that you can also get a bit of a deeper dive on that, as well as more specific types beyond just local business. So implementing JSON-LD for cleaner code. JSON-LD is the recommended method for adding structured data. It keeps your markup separate from HTML, reducing code clutter and making updates more manageable. Actionable tip: use Google's structured data markup helper or a reputable schema generator to build your JSON-LD snippets. Validate them with Google's rich results test or schema.org validator to ensure correctness and avoid errors that can confuse crawlers. So remember, schema unlocks rich results and visibility. Proper schema can lead to rich snippets, stars, images, FAQs, knowledge panels, and even carousels. These enhanced SERP features increase CTR and brand visibility. Actionable tip: identify which rich results are most beneficial to your audience. Now, some of this can be indicative to the type of query and the type of category, and different types of search results appear for different types of category. Look at the top when you're doing your search and look and see what type of results Google is favoring. So typically you'll see this listed as video or image or map, etc. Those are the types of things that you might want to pay attention to, as well as what is generally showing up for those particular searches. And they will change depending on whether it's national, local, geo-targeted, niche, all those types of things. For an e-commerce site, for instance, aim for product schema with review stars. For a recipe site, go for recipe schema with cooking times and nutritional info. Be as detailed as you possibly can. Ensure data accuracy for trust and authority. Schema should always reflect the actual on-page content. Mismatches or outdated schema can erode trust, leading search engines to ignore your markup over time. We've seen that. Actionable tips: set a recurring audit process every time you update content. So price, availability, author bio, update your structured data. Use automated tools or scripts to keep schema in sync with real-time site changes. So beyond basic markup, entity linking. Connect your content to known entities. Schema can link your brand, products, authors, and locations to recognized entities. This helps search engines form a more holistic understanding of your niche and relevance. Another actionable tip: use same as properties to link to official brand profiles. So Wikipedia, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. By consistently referencing authoritative entities, you strengthen your semantic signals and domain authority. This is also one of the triggers that can help you rank by using only schema on a page. Measuring impact and refining strategy. Monitor performance and iterate. Adding schema isn't a set and forget tactic. Track changes in organic visibility, CTRs, and search features to understand what's working. Use that data to refine your approach. Actionable tip: woohoo! Monitor structured data errors in Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools. Track CTR improvements on pages with enhanced schema. Adjust your schema strategy based on performance metrics and emerging search features. Integrating schema into a holistic SEO strategy. So schema as an ongoing competitive advantage. Remember, schema complements your overall SEO, content strategy, link building, technical optimization, and brand authority. Think of it as the final flourish that makes your content unambiguously understandable and more appealing to both users and machines. Actionable tip: include schema discussion in your monthly or quarterly SEO planning sessions. Stay updated on new schema types and features. So spend time on schema.org, Google developers. When I was talking in one of our first videos, I recommended that you do spend time to understand not only what is relevant, but what has changed, and always be ahead of the curve in terms of understanding what you should be implementing, which can get a competitive advantage and additional rich results. It's something we also bake into our surge process. And just stay updated on new schema types and features. Continuously refine your structured data to maintain a competitive edge in the evolving search landscape. So here's a bonus. This is something that I went into fairly deeply at our live event we had back in June up in Canada here, which was awesome. Dynamic schema generation via AI-driven personalization. So imagine using AI models to dynamically generate schema based on real-time user behavior and trending queries. Instead of static markup, your schema evolves, positioning content as the perfect answer to what people are searching for moment by moment. Think of things like going beyond just FAQ, things like people also ask, and different relevant queries that are perpetually evolving through other sites like Reddit and Quora and those types of things. Monitor trending keywords and on-page engagement, then automatically the system automatically updates schema properties like article topics, FAQ questions to match the current intent landscape. Test carefully, track SERP changes, and be prepared to reverse course if this tactic negatively impacts brand trust or content integrity. It should not do any of that if you implement this correctly, but I'm not going to show you how to do that today. This is beyond the scope of today's video. So another bonus, and this goes back to ranking with only schema and no other content, using advanced @ID hybridization to amplify your entity. So remember my last video where I talked in depth of how to correctly use the @ID designation in schema? Please watch that first and then come back here. There's much more that you can do with this value. Just keep that in mind. And it's one of the triggers that drives ranking with schema only examples. So what you set inside of the @ID field can govern how Google and other search engines make the connection and association between your entity and a particular query. Test what works well for your use case. That's it for today, guys. I hope you found some value. If you need any more assistance or have any questions about this, please leave that in the comments. I'm very happy to assist, and I thank you very much for your support. Please subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.